The moment you hear something you were never meant to hear, your life splits into before and after. I didn't know that yet. I was just trying to keep my hands steady, balancing a silver tray loaded with champagne glasses that cost more than my weekly paycheck, weaving through a ballroom filled with people who would never learn my name. My name is Chloe Bennett, and that night, I was invisible on purpose. Black uniform, hair tied back, eyes down. That's how you survive places like this. You don't look. You don't listen. You definitely don't get involved. The music was soft, something classical, floating under the low hum of powerful conversations. Deals, money, control. It all blended together until it became background noise. Until her voice cut through it. Smooth, controlled, sharp enough to make my skin tighten. I wasn't trying to listen. I swear I wasn't. But I was standing too close, refilling glasses at a table I shouldn't have been near, and her words slipped past the space between us like they had been waiting for me. "It has to happen before midnight," she said quietly. "He can't find out." My fingers paused for half a second, just long enough to feel wrong. Midnight. Find out. The man sitting across from her didn't respond right away. He just nodded once, slow, deliberate, like this was already decided. Like whatever they were talking about was already in motion. I should have walked away. Every instinct I had told me to move, to disappear, to become part of the walls again. But something held me there. Maybe it was the way she said his name next. Not out loud. Not fully. Just enough for me to recognize it. Jack Wick. The air shifted before I even saw him. Conversations softened. People moved, subtly, instinctively, creating a path without being told. That's what power looks like when it doesn't need to announce itself. I didn't look up right away. I didn't want to, because looking meant being seen, and being seen meant being remembered. But I felt it. That presence. Heavy, controlled, watching everything without moving. Then I made a mistake. A small one. The kind no one notices unless they're looking for it. My hand trembled. One glass tilted, slightly on the tray, just enough to catch her attention. Her eyes snapped to me. Cold. Calculating. Like I had just stepped into a line I couldn't see. In that second, I understood something without anyone saying it. She knew I heard her. And worse, she knew I understood. Her expression didn't change. Not really. She smiled. Soft. Perfect. The kind of smile that belongs on magazine covers and engagement announcements. But her eyes stayed on mine for 1 second too long. A warning. A promise. I forced my gaze down, my heart pounding so loud I was sure someone could hear it. Just a waitress. Just doing her job. That's all I was supposed to be. But as I stepped back, as the sound of footsteps approached behind me, slow and deliberate, I realized something else. I wasn't invisible anymore. And when I finally looked up, Jack Wick wasn't looking at her. He was looking at me. I should have looked away. That was the first rule. Do not meet his eyes. Do not give someone like Jack Wick a reason to remember you. But I did not move. I could not. His gaze held mine with a quiet intensity that did not need to raise its voice to be heard. It was not anger. It was not curiosity. It was something sharper. Awareness. Like he was reading something written beneath my skin. The room continued around us. Laughter returning in careful waves. Glasses clinking. Conversations resuming as if nothing had happened. But none of it reached me. All I could hear was the sound of my own heartbeat. Steady but too loud. Like it was counting down to something I could not stop. I lowered my eyes first. Not out of submission, but survival. My fingers tightened around the edge of the tray as I stepped back. One step, then another, careful not to draw attention, careful not to spill, careful not to exist. That was when I felt her presence again. Closer this time. I did not need to look to know she had moved. I could feel it in the way the air shifted, in the way the space behind me felt suddenly occupied. "You should be more careful," she said softly, her voice smooth enough that anyone listening would think it was concern. It was not. It was a warning wrapped in silk. I turned. Slightly. Just enough to face her without making it obvious. Up close, she was even more composed. Perfect makeup. Perfect posture. Perfect control. The kind of woman people admired without realizing they were afraid of her. "Yes, ma'am," I said quietly. My voice did not shake. I made sure of that. She studied me for a second longer than necessary. Then her eyes dropped briefly to my hands, to the tray, to the glass that had almost slipped. She noticed everything. Of course she did. Accidents happen, she continued, her tone light, almost amused. But sometimes accidents have consequences. My throat tightened. Not enough to show, just enough to feel. I understand, I replied. And I did. This was not about the glass. This was about what I heard. About what I should not have heard. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then she smiled again, that same flawless expression, and turned away like I was no longer worth her attention. Conversation resumed around her instantly, people leaning in, eager, laughing a little too quickly at things that were not that funny. I stepped back further, putting distance between us, blending into the flow of servers moving along the edges of the room. My shift should have felt routine again. It did not. Every step felt heavier, every sound sharper. Every glance from across the room made my skin prickle. I kept my head down, but I could feel it, the weight of being watched. Not just by her, by him. I risked one glance. Just one. Jack Wick had not moved far. He stood near the center of the room, surrounded but untouched, like the world adjusted itself around him instead of the other way around. People spoke to him, nodded, smiled, but his attention was not fully on them. It shifted. It tracked. It found me again. Not obvious. Not enough for anyone else to notice. But I saw it, and something inside me went cold. He knew something was wrong. Maybe not everything. Not yet, but enough. I looked away quickly, focusing on the tray, on the pattern of the floor, on anything that kept me grounded. I just needed to finish my shift. Walk out. Forget everything. Pretend none of this ever happened. That was the plan. Simple. Safe. Impossible. Because as I reached the service corridor, as the noise of the ballroom dimmed behind me, I heard footsteps. Slow. Measured. Following. And before I could turn, before I could decide whether to run or stand still, a voice behind me said quietly, "You heard something you should not have." And I knew. There was no going back. I froze before I turned. That voice did not need to be loud. It settled into the air like it belonged there, like everything else in this building answered to it. Slowly, I faced him. Jack Wick stood a few feet away, close enough that I could see the fine details now. The way his suit fit perfectly, the way his expression gave nothing away, the way his eyes stayed locked on mine like he had already decided something I did not understand yet. I swallowed, steadying my breath. "I do not know what you mean," I said, keeping my voice low, controlled, careful. It was not a denial. It was survival. His gaze did not shift, not even slightly. For a second, I thought he might smile. He did not. "You paused," he said calmly. "People who do not understand do not pause." My fingers tightened against the edge of the tray until the metal pressed into my skin. He noticed that too. Of course he did. Silence stretched between us, not empty, but full of things unsaid, things waiting. I could feel the walls of the corridor closing in, the distance between us shrinking even though neither of us moved. "I was just doing my job," I replied. This time, my voice was softer, not weaker, just honest in a way that felt dangerous. Something shifted in his expression then. Not suspicion. Not yet. Recognition. Like he believed that part. But belief did not mean trust. Not here. Not with him. His eyes flicked briefly past me, toward the ballroom, toward the world I had just stepped out of, then back to me again. "And what did your job tell you?" he asked. The question landed heavier than the first. Not what I heard. What I understood. That was the difference. That was the trap. I hesitated. Just for a second. Long enough for him to see it. Long enough for me to know I had made another mistake. His jaw tightened slightly, the only visible sign that something beneath. The surface had shifted. "You are thinking too carefully," he said. Not accusing. Observing. I exhaled slowly, forcing myself to meet his gaze again. Running was not an option. Not anymore. "I heard a conversation," I said quietly. "That is all." He studied me in silence, weighing the words, measuring what I chose to say and what I chose to leave out. It felt like standing under a spotlight that only he could see. Then, without warning, he stepped closer. Not aggressive, not rushed, just enough to make the space between us disappear. I could smell his cologne now, subtle, expensive, controlled. Everything about him was controlled. "And you believe that conversation matters?" he asked. My heart skipped once. Just once. I forced it back into rhythm. "I think it mattered to them," I answered. It was the truth, just not all of it. For a moment, something unreadable passed through his eyes. Not doubt, not certainty, something in between. Then he leaned back slightly, giving me space again, but not releasing the tension. "Stay where you are," he said quietly. Not a threat, not a request, A decision. Before I could respond, before I could ask what that meant, his attention shifted past me. I did not need to turn to know why. I felt it again. Her presence. Closer than before. Watching. Waiting. The air changed. And this time, I understood something with absolute clarity. This was no longer about what I heard. It was about what I would say next. And who I would say it to. She did not rush. That was the first thing I noticed. She never rushed. The sound of her heels against the polished floor was soft, measured, controlled, like every step had already been planned before she took it. I did not turn immediately. I did not need to. The tension in the air told me exactly where she was, exactly how close she had come. When I finally looked, she was standing just a few feet away, her expression flawless, her posture effortless, like she had stepped into a scene she already owned. Her eyes moved between me and Jack Wick, quick, precise, calculating something neither of us had said out loud. "Is everything all right?" she asked, her voice light, almost amused, as if this was nothing more than a minor interruption. Jack Wick did not answer right away. He did not look at her. Not at first. His attention stayed on me, steady, unbroken, like he was waiting for something only I could give him. Then, slowly, he shifted his gaze to her. The change was subtle, but I felt it. The air adjusted again, bending around whatever existed between them. "She heard something," he said calmly. No accusation, no emotion, just a statement placed between us like a piece on a board. Her smile did not fade. If anything, it softened, warmer, more reassuring, the kind of expression that made people trust her without question. "She is a waitress," she replied gently. "They hear everything. It does not mean they understand any of it." Her eyes flicked back to me for a fraction of a second. A reminder, a warning, a test. I kept my posture still, my breathing even, my gaze neutral. Invisible. That was the role I needed to return to. But it was too late for that. Jack Wick studied her now, not intensely, not aggressively, just enough to make the silence stretch longer than it should have. "And what do you think she understands?" he asked. Her head tilted slightly, considering, as if the answer mattered more than it should. "Nothing that concerns us," she said smoothly. "Unless you believe otherwise." The question was not directed at me, but I felt it land anyway. I could feel both of them watching, waiting, measuring the same moment from different angles. One looking for truth, the other controlling it. My pulse picked up, not fast, just enough to remind me how thin the line was between speaking and staying silent. I could feel the weight of what I heard pressing against my chest, demanding to be acknowledged, demanding to matter. But survival was quieter than truth. Survival knew when to stay still. I was just doing my job. I said again, carefully, the same words but steadier now, more deliberate. "Serving drinks. That is all." Her smile widened just slightly, satisfied, like I had chosen correctly. But Jack Wick did not look satisfied. Not completely. His gaze returned to me, searching, not for what I said, but for what I did not. For a moment, no one moved. Then he nodded once, almost to himself, like a decision had been made that none of us could see yet. "Finish your shift," he said quietly. It sounded simple. It was not. It was permission. It was a command. It was a test I did not understand. I nodded, lowering my eyes again, stepping back slowly, careful not to break the fragile balance that held the moment together. As I turned, as I walked back toward the noise of the ballroom, I could feel her gaze following me. Sharp, focused, unforgiving. But it was not hers that stayed with me. It was his. Because even as I disappeared into the crowd, even as I became just another uniform moving between tables, I knew something had already changed. He did not believe her, and he was not finished with me yet. The noise of the ballroom should have swallowed me again. That was the plan. Step back into the rhythm. Pour, serve, disappear. But nothing felt the same. Every sound was sharper. Every laugh a little too loud. Every glance from across the room felt like it meant something now. I moved between tables with practiced precision, keeping my head down, my hands steady, my breathing controlled. Just another waitress. Just another night. But my mind would not let go of what I heard. Midnight. He cannot find out. The words replayed in fragments, refusing to fade into background noise. They did not belong in a room like this. Not under chandeliers and polished marble and soft music. They belonged somewhere hidden. Somewhere dangerous. I should have let it go. I tried to. I focused on the details that usually grounded me. The weight of the tray. the cold surface of the glasses, the pattern of the carpet beneath my shoes. But then I saw it. Not the conversation, not the people, something smaller, something easier to miss. She was standing near the center of the room again, surrounded, admired, untouchable. But her attention was not on the people speaking to her. It flickered, briefly, toward the exit. Not once, twice. A signal, subtle, controlled, intentional. My chest tightened. That was not nothing. I turned slightly, just enough to follow the direction of her gaze without making it obvious. Near the far hallway, a man in a dark suit stood still, not engaging, not part of the crowd. Watching, waiting. When her eyes met his again, he gave the smallest nod. Barely there, but it was enough. A response. Something passed between them that no one else seemed to notice. Something planned. My grip on the tray tightened. This was not just a conversation anymore. This was movement, timing, execution. I forced myself to look away, to keep walking, to keep serving, but the room felt different now. Not elegant, not safe, structured, controlled, like everything was being guided toward a moment no one else knew was coming. My heart started to pick up again, not out of fear, but awareness. The kind that comes when you realize you are standing too close to something you do not understand. I should have ignored it. I should have stayed in my lane, finished my shift, and left. That was still possible. Maybe. But then I felt it again. That weight. That presence. I did not need to look this time. I already knew. Jack Wick was watching. Not casually. Not passively. Focused. Tracking the same shift I had just noticed. The same pattern. The same silence beneath the noise. Our eyes met for a fraction of a second across the room. No expression. No signal. But something passed between us anyway. Recognition. Not of each other. Of the moment. He saw it too. Whatever was about to happen, he was already aware of it. And he was waiting. I looked away immediately, my pulse steady but firm now, my thoughts aligning into something clearer than before. This was no longer about what I heard earlier. This was happening now, in real time, and I was standing in the middle of it. The clock above the bar caught my attention without warning. 11:42 p.m. 18 minutes. I exhaled slowly, grounding myself, forcing my body to move like nothing had changed. But everything had, because now I knew something else with certainty. Whatever she had planned, it had not happened yet. And for the first time since this night began, I understood exactly where the danger was. It was not in what I had heard. It was in what I was about to witness. I stopped thinking like a waitress. That was the difference. Somewhere between the glance she gave that man and the way Jack Wick shifted his attention, something inside me changed. I was still holding the tray, still moving between tables, still invisible to everyone who wanted me to be. But I was watching now, really watching. The clock behind the bar ticked forward. 11:44 p.m. 16 minutes. The room felt tighter, like the walls had moved an inch closer without anyone noticing. Conversations continued, smooth and polished, but underneath them, there was a current. Subtle, controlled, moving in one direction. I traced it again. Her position. The man near the hallway. The exit doors beyond him. Then something else caught my attention. A second man, closer to the bar, adjusting his cufflinks for the third time in less than a minute. Not nervous, not distracted. Waiting. My pulse steadied, not faster, just clearer. This was coordinated. Not random, not emotional. Planned. I turned slightly, stepping behind the bar to replace an empty tray, using the movement as cover to get a better angle of the room. From here, I could see more. The entry points, the staff corridor, the side exit near the terrace. And then I saw her again. She was laughing now, head tilted just enough to catch the light, her hand resting lightly on someone's arm as if she belonged exactly where she was. But her eyes did not match the moment. They flicked once more toward the clock. 11:45 p.m. 15 minutes. My stomach tightened. This was not about attention. This was timing. I wiped my hands on the edge of my apron, grounding myself in something real. I should walk away. I should go to the manager, say I felt sick, leave before whatever this was reached its end. That would be the smart choice, the safe choice. But my feet did not move, because Jack Wick had not moved either. He stood exactly where he had been, surrounded but separate, his posture relaxed, his expression unreadable. But now I saw it. The difference. His attention was not on her anymore. Not fully. It moved across the room, slow, deliberate, connecting points I had only just begun to see. The man by the hallway. The one near the bar. The exits. The clock. He was mapping it, just like I was. Our eyes met again, brief but undeniable. This time, it was not accidental. He knew that I knew something. Maybe not everything, but enough. And for a second, something passed between us that did not need words. Not trust. Not yet. But alignment. Then it broke. Someone approached him, speaking, drawing his attention away, even if only on the surface. I exhaled slowly, turning back toward the bar, forcing my hands to keep moving, to stay occupied. I reached for a glass, then paused. Something was wrong. Not in the room. In me. A detail I had missed. I replayed the moment again. Her voice. Her words. Before midnight. He cannot find out. My breath caught. Not after. Before. This was not about something happening at midnight. It was about something being completed before it. A deadline. A cutoff. I looked back at the clock. 11:47 p.m. 13 minutes. My grip tightened around the glass. Whatever this was, it was already in motion. And suddenly, staying silent did not feel like safety anymore. It felt like being part of it. I swallowed hard, my thoughts racing but precise now. And for the first time since this night began, I asked myself a different question. Not how do I get out, but what happens if I do nothing? Because somewhere across the room, Jack Wick was still watching. And I had the terrifying feeling that he was waiting to see if I would speak. I could feel the moment closing in, like a door slowly shutting with no sound until it was almost too late to slip through. 11:49 p.m. 11 minutes. The numbers burned into my mind even as I kept moving, pouring drinks, collecting empty glasses, playing the role I had worn all night. But the role did not fit anymore. Not after what I saw. Not after what I understood. My hands were steady, but everything inside me was shifting, aligning into something I could not ignore. I glanced across the room again, careful, quick, controlled. The man near the hallway had moved half a step closer to the exit. The one near the bar checked his watch, not casually, not impatiently, but precisely, like confirming a countdown only he could see. And her, she was still perfect, still smiling, still untouchable. But now I could see the pattern in her movements, the way she positioned herself just slightly away from the center, just enough to clear a path without anyone noticing. This was not chaos. This was choreography. My chest tightened. I could walk away. I could still leave. Slip into the staff corridor, out the back door, into the night where none of this followed me. No one would stop me. No one would question me. I was just a waitress. Invisible. Replaceable. Safe in my insignificance. But that word did not feel real anymore. Safe. Not when I knew. Not when I had seen the pieces come together. My gaze lifted without permission, finding him again. Jack Wick stood exactly where he had been, but something about him had changed. Not his posture. Not his expression. His focus. It had sharpened. Narrowed. Like he was no longer observing possibilities. He was waiting for confirmation. Our eyes met again, longer this time. Not by accident. Not by chance. There was a question there. Silent. Direct. Are you going to say it? My breath caught. I looked away quickly, my pulse steady but heavy now, pressing against my ribs like it wanted an answer too. I turned back toward the bar, reaching for another glass, grounding myself in the familiar motion, but my mind would not quiet. Before midnight. He cannot find out. The words echoed again, louder this time, clearer. Not just a warning. A plan. Something that needed to stay hidden from him. From Jack Wick. That meant whatever was about to happen was meant to happen without his knowledge. My fingers tightened around the glass. That was not small. That was not harmless. That was everything. I exhaled slowly, feeling the weight of the decision settle into place. If I stayed silent, I walked away. I kept my life exactly as it was. Small, quiet, safe. If I spoke, I stepped into something I could not control. Something that would not let me disappear again. I closed my eyes for half a second, just enough to steady myself. When I opened them, the room looked different. Not louder, not brighter, clearer. I set the glass down carefully, my movements deliberate now, no hesitation left. I turned, not toward the exit, toward him. Each step felt louder than it should have, even though no one noticed, even though the music still played and the conversation still flowed. But I felt it, the shift, the moment stretching as I crossed the room, as his attention locked onto me again, unbroken, unwavering. People moved aside without understanding why. Space opened. Distance closed. I stopped a few feet in front of him, my hands steady at my sides, my voice quiet but firm when it finally came out. "It is not after midnight," I said. His expression did not change, but his eyes sharpened instantly. "It is before." A pause. Just a fraction of a second. Enough to feel everything tilt. "And she does not want you to find out." For a moment, nothing moved. Not him. Not me. Not even the air between us. My words did not echo, but I felt them land, heavy and irreversible. Jackwick did not react the way I expected. He did not question me. He did not look confused. He went still. Completely still. And somehow, that was worse. His eyes held mine, sharp now, focused in a way that stripped everything else away. The music faded into something distant. The conversations blurred into background noise. There was only that look. Measuring. Calculating. Deciding. Then, slowly, his gaze shifted past me. Not rushed. Not alarmed. Intentional. I did not turn, but I felt it. The change rippling outward. Subtle at first. A pause in someone's sentence. A glance exchanged between men who had not been looking at each other before. A shift in posture. It was quiet, almost invisible, but it was happening. He believed me. Not completely. Not blindly. But enough. "Where?" he asked quietly. Just one word. No emotion. No wasted breath. I swallowed, steadying myself, forcing my thoughts to stay clear. "Near the hallway," I said. "And the bar. They are watching the exits." His jaw tightened slightly. Not anger. Recognition. Confirmation. His eyes flicked once toward the clock. 11:52 p.m. 8 minutes. Then he looked back at me. For a second, something else passed through his expression. Not power. Not control. Something closer to respect. "Stay behind me," he said. The words were low, controlled, but final. Before I could respond, he moved. Not fast. Not dramatic. Just forward. And the room adjusted. People stepped aside without understanding why. Conversations shifted. Space opened. He did not raise his voice. He did not signal. But everything around him responded anyway. I stepped back instinctively, my heart steady but loud in my chest, my eyes tracking his movement as he crossed the room. And then it happened. She noticed. Of course she did. Her smile did not disappear. It deepened, softer, warmer, like she was pleased to see him approaching. But her eyes changed. Just slightly. Just enough. She had not expected this. Not yet. Not before midnight. Their gazes met across the distance. For a fraction of a second, everything stopped. Then she recovered. Perfect. Effortless. Untouchable. "You look serious," she said lightly as he reached her, her voice carrying just enough to sound playful, nothing more. "Should I be worried?" Jackwick did not smile. He did not match her tone. He simply looked at her. And for the first time that night, she was the one being read. The silence stretched. Not uncomfortable. Not uncertain. Controlled. Like something unseen was tightening around the moment. "You tell me," he said quietly. Her expression did not break. But I saw it now. The smallest delay. The slightest calculation behind her eyes. She laughed softly, brushing it off, turning slightly as if to redirect the moment back into something harmless. "I think you are overthinking," she said. "It is just another evening." But it was not. We all knew it. The room still moved, still breathed, still pretended. But beneath it, something had shifted. Completely. I stayed where I was, just behind him now, exactly where he had told me to be, my pulse steady, my mind clear. The clock ticked again. 11:53 p.m. 7 minutes. And for the first time since this night began, she was no longer in control. The silence did not break. It shifted. That was the difference. It moved from her control to his, from something polished and rehearsed into something sharper, quieter, real. I could feel it in the way the room breathed differently, like everyone sensed something changing, but no one understood what it was yet. Jackwick did not raise his voice. He did not step closer. He simply held her gaze, and in that stillness, everything else began to fall out of place. "Before midnight," he repeated softly. Not a question, a confirmation. Her smile remained, but it was no longer effortless. I could see the tension now, hidden beneath the surface, the way her fingers tightened just slightly at her side before relaxing again. "I do not know what you think you heard," she said calmly, her tone even, her posture perfect. "But you are letting a misunderstanding ruin your evening." He did not respond immediately. He let the silence stretch again, Longer this time. Heavier, like he was giving her space to correct something that could not be corrected. Around us, the room continued its performance. Laughter, glasses, music, but it all felt distant now, like it belonged to another world. My eyes flicked briefly to the clock. 11:55 p.m. 5 minutes. Then Jackwick moved. Not dramatically, not suddenly, just a single step to the side. It was enough. The shift was immediate. The man near the hallway stiffened, just slightly, like a plan had been interrupted mid-thought. The one near the bar lowered his hand from his cufflinks, his attention snapping fully forward. They had seen it too. Whatever control she had, it was slipping. Strange, Jackwick said quietly, his voice calm but precise. Because misunderstandings do not usually come with timing. Her eyes sharpened for the first time. Just a flicker, gone as quickly as it appeared. But I saw it. He saw it. That was all it took. You are overreacting, she replied, softer now, stepping closer to him, her voice lowering, more personal, more intimate, as if trying to pull him back into her version of the moment. You trust me. It was not a question. It was a reminder. A claim. For a second, I thought it might work. The room seemed to lean into that sentence, waiting for him to accept it, to let everything return to normal. But he did not. His expression did not soften. His gaze did not waver. I trust patterns, he said. The words landed clean. Final. And just like that, the illusion cracked. Not loudly, not visibly to everyone, but enough. The man by the hallway shifted his weight again, this time. More urgently, his eyes darting once toward the exit. The one near the bar turned slightly, adjusting his position like he was reconsidering something that had already been decided. The timing was breaking. The coordination was unraveling. She felt it. I saw it in the way her shoulders squared just a fraction more, in the way her smile stopped reaching her eyes. She had lost control of the moment. Completely. My pulse stayed steady, but my chest felt tight, like I was standing at the edge of something I could not step back from anymore. Jackwick did not look at me. He did not need to. Everything that needed to be said had already been said. The clock ticked again. 11:56 p.m. For minutes. And then, without raising his voice, without making a scene, he said one quiet sentence that changed everything. No one leaves. It was not loud, but it carried. Not through sound. Through authority. The room did not freeze. It adjusted. Subtly. Doors that had been open were no longer accessible. Conversations shifted. Movement slowed. Control returned. Not hers. His. And in that moment, I understood something with absolute clarity. I had not just exposed her. I had stepped into his world. And there was no going back to being invisible again.